Hello and welcome to the weekly updates here at Regent International School. For this week, I sat down with Mr. Patrick Gaynor, our primary teacher of STEAM, to actually find out about what STEAM does and some of the fantastic projects that he and his students have been doing. I am now in one of my absolutely favorite areas of the school. Now, great learning is happening, obviously, in the classrooms, outside of the classrooms, on a football pitch, etc. But also great learning and learning in a lot of sort of real-life connections and in an interdisciplinary way is happening also here in the STEAM room. And so I'm joined now by Mr. Patrick Gaynor, who's our STEAM teacher in the primary, and I'm here to learn more about STEAM. So thank you for joining us.
No problem.
And I think the first question that we'll start with is, for some of the parents who don't know, what is STEAM?
So STEAM is science, technology, engineering, art and maths, but it's at secondary it'd be kind of the disciplinary would be built in, whereas at primary we're trying to combine multiple disciplines and kind of create an interdisciplinary STEAM approach to learning rather than an overall. So you're combining all of your maths, your science, your technology. We're giving the students a real world problem and we're asking them to come up with their solutions of that problem.
So how does that work in practice?
So in practice it works, so I work with the teachers, we develop a unit and then we run the unit here in the STEAM room. They will start off in the classroom for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and then they will come here for a 2-week block, and we will have a 2-week block so the kids can get all of their practical prototypes and testing done.
Well, and there's certainly a lot of fantastic equipment here so they can genuinely just create or do anything.
Yeah, they have free rein when they come in. There's 3D printers, robotics, laser cutting. We have our new coding table, kitchen, yes, so we do get that. Sewing machine, which has been used brilliantly this week. So yeah, there's lots of different things for the kids to get their teeth into.
Fantastic. So if you sort of had to maybe pick some of the superpowers of STEAM, what would those be?
I suppose everyone now is thinking AI, but for me the superpower of STEAM is the students themselves, and in here they get the opportunity to decode a problem. Or so if we're looking at what we're doing this week, we've given them the old game of Mastermind and Codebreaker, and the students have had to kind of deconstruct it, decode it, and then rebuild it in their own way with a little bit of a challenge put in by me, which is one group would have to use the laser cutter, one group has to use 3D printer. They can use the other things as well. One group is predominantly textiles, one is completely digital, and then the fifth group was travel. So they had to think, if I'm going on a plane, I can't have everything falling off, how do I solve that problem? So it's deconstructing and then putting their own twist on it then.
So that's what I'm hearing is really fascinating, because you take a real life problem,
yes,
and it could be a very practical problem, like for example going on a plane, and you identify what you want to do about the problem, but what you're teaching the kids is that they can go many different ways about solving the problem, and all of those ways and the solutions may work.
Absolutely. Like if we look at when they're doing maths, there's not just one solution to a sum, and they will learn that probably even more when they go on to secondary. And it's about having that empathize and that design thinking, and they can bring that into other areas as well, especially when they go on to do business studies in secondary. The big buzzword is problematize in business, and that comes from empathizing with the issue and being able to look at a problem 360 degrees. So that's kind of the skills they might not know we're teaching, but that's what we're trying to teach.
And that's really the key skills, so they come here, they obviously do a lot of things, but really what they walk away is with lifelong skills that certainly will translate into secondary, but then beyond as well.
And beyond, yes.
So I'm curious, can you think of what are you doing right now with some of the projects?
Yeah, so at the moment we're looking at Codebreaker with the year 6s. So as I mentioned, it's also, some of the older people might know it as Mastermind. So they're looking at that in terms of the challenges I gave them. Last week we had the year 4s building bridges. So the challenge I gave them then was Dubai was to host the tall ships competition. So we need our tall ships to get into Business Bay Dock, so we had to move bridges. So how could we do that? And what we like here in STEAM is that like our robotics is not on its own, our 3D printing is not on its own, our Connects is not on its own, so they had to combine everything so that their bridge would rotate, and it was quite fun and some very good solutions at the end, and innovative solutions at the end, which is always good to see. You'll always have something that I wouldn't think of, which is brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. There certainly is a lot that you shared about STEAM, and again, what really comes out is the fact that students think about a real-life problem. They have ways that they can deconstruct, they can create new solutions, they learn tons of skills, and they do it, of course, in this wonderful environment. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody who attended this week's Community Iftar. What an amazing event, seeing so many of you sharing food and celebrating what this special month has to offer. Safety and security at the school is, of course, of primary importance. And so your children may have shared with you that we had our fire drill this week. It was unannounced, so nobody knew about it except for the senior leadership team. And I'm pleased to share with you that we evacuated the school in a record time. Due to the upcoming holidays, this will be the last message for the next 3 weeks. If you are traveling for the break, safe travels. If you are staying and celebrating, please enjoy the celebrations and this very important month of Ramadan. And I would like to remind you that when we resume on the 15th of April, Monday the 15th, we will have the regular timing. So please make sure that you bring your children here on time. All there is left for me to say is I wish everybody a very happy Mother's Day here in the UAE, and see you on the 15th of April.